Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel again. Today we are reacting to Abba and Preach, of course, the boys. And today's topic is about don't do business with friends. Okay, let's just jump right in.
So why am I bringing all this up? A lot of you probably don't care about hip hop, nor do you care about this topic, but I want to bring this up to you because this is important in regards to business and friends and managing something. Okay, it's very difficult. So I'm going to give you guys the cliff notes. So Joe Budden, he's a music artist, part of Slaughterhouse, rapper, etc., etc. He starts a podcast. Two friends end up joining. That's Rory and Mal. They start working together on the podcast. Co-hosts have some great moments. It's a popular podcast. Now they have a profit sharing deal. Means based off of the profits, each of them gets a percentage. Joe gets the lion's share because he's a bigger name. They also get a percentage each. Okay. The problem comes into the fact that based off the contracts they had written, they wanted to be able to see the books. They wanted to be able to see the financials so they could understand how much of the profits that they're actually getting, right? Because you don't know.
Completely makes sense. And if you guys are friends, or at least real close friends, there's honestly nothing to hide from it. Like this shouldn't even be concerning if you guys are really friends.
How much you're supposed to get unless you could see all the money. Do you understand? But
Yeah.
Joe wouldn't show them that. So he's like, well, how do you know my percentage or how can I confirm my percentage if you won't show me the books? Very basic stuff. If you're an employee, you work somewhere, it's an hourly thing, you are allowed to ask your manager, how many hours did I work this week to calculate your pay? Right? It's not some arbitrary number, right? As more money comes in, more questions get asked. Eventually, they come to a head. He doesn't like asking so many questions, so he removes himself from the podcast. He has what I believe is one of the most unprofessional firings ever. He gets on air and he says a whole bunch of stuff. You guys are fired on a live podcast to people you call friends. Super messy.
That's when you actually need to realize that he was never your friend, bro. Never.
Family, business, and friends, they don't mix. And oftentimes it's true. But I think it's also true because of how people approach it, the mindset, the values, right? And also the ethics involved. Joe feels like because he does more of the work, he doesn't have to answer to his partners. Maybe there's something more shady. Maybe he's stealing money behind the scenes. I can't say for sure. I'm not going to say that. But it is kind of shady that people who have the right to have access to the books, you don't give it to them. You tell them there's accounting errors and all this other stuff. It will make people feel uneasy.
I mean, if someone outside my circle comes out and asks me for the books and how much money I make, ask me to show proof and shit, I'm not gonna show it to them. No fucking way. There's no reason for me to show it to you. You are a random individual who are maybe an acquaintance or not even that, right? And you expect me to show you how much money I make? Nah, bro, ain't gonna work. But when it comes to your close friends, when it comes to your friends, right? Especially when you start something with your friends, everything has to be transparent. You cannot hide shit from each other, especially when you're trying to open a podcast. Like me and my friends, we were planning to start our podcast a while ago. Hasn't been going so too well. We haven't been consistent about it, so that's a whole different story. But the transparency part is what I'm talking about. Me and my boys, bro, we don't give a fuck about money. To be honest, it's just a medium we need to use to survive. That's what it is to us. At least for me, and as far as I know for Ajay too. It's the same thing. My one of my best friends, right? So, bro, money is just the middle thing that you use to get what you want. And to get what you want, um, you started this, right? You started this whole thing. And when you start something with your friends, you gotta be transparent about it, bro. There is no doubt. There is no reason you have to hide shit from them, right? What the fuck are you hiding shit from your friends for?
If you feel like there's nothing to hide and they should be able to see what's going on behind closed
Exactly.
doors, show it to them. It is their right. When
Yeah.
you don't, of course, people are going to assume something shady is happening because you're not giving them access to something.
And definitely then something shady is happening. He's definitely getting paid probably twice the amount he's getting paid and giving them what bitch change to his friends. And you call them friends, bro, don't I don't know, bro. The thing is, the value of words are being lost every day through time. The value, meaning behind the words used, right? Like the word friend is pretty valuable. A best friend, very fucking valuable. Saying things like "I love you." It is. It's just words, right? But the meaning behind it, the power it holds from the people you want to hear from, the people you want to tell it to, bro. It is unfathomable. So
that they should
absurd. It's absurd.
have access. And this comes the ethics aspect. These are your partners, and when you don't treat them as such, of course they're going to feel offended. Of course they're going to feel devalued. You're treating them like employees when that's not what they are.
Exactly. They're your fucking partners. They don't work for you. They work with you.
And you talk to them like they are employees. That's not how you run. It shows poor leadership. You getting in front of the whole world and firing with it, even if you don't want to work with them. Why would you broadcast that to everybody? Right?
That's just the lowest thing anybody could do.
It's messy all around. And Joe has a history of this. So this is where Rory and Maul's accountability comes. Joe has a history of this. Plenty of people warned him that this guy's not someone to be worked with. But they were like, nah, we're friends. Joe would never. Joe did. And there has to be some accountability from you not learning from history. There has to be some accountability from you ignoring all the signs when he wouldn't show you the books for multiple years and it wouldn't be transparent with you and was disrespectful on air. Like, there has to be some level of like, has he changed? Or is this getting worse and worse? Why didn't you guys do anything beforehand? Now, eventually you guys did. Whatever. It is what it is. But also understand, that's where your accountability comes into place. And the third and last thing I'm going to say is this. If you're going to do business with friends and family, make damn sure that you're doing it more than just, oh, that's my nigga. You have to make sure that they have the character to run a business with you. And you also have to...
And write shit down.
Write shit down?
Write shit down.
But the biggest thing I'm going to say is you have to make sure that both of you agree which one takes priority, your friendship or the business. And so that's pretty much what I'm going to say.
I've been around friend business and family business. Bro, let me tell you this. It's rough. When we say that money corrupts, when we say that money talks and all that shit, and when we talk about that, friends, family, it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter when that greed come in, that greed, that jealousy, all of that. I'll spare the details, but I've seen that.
Yeah.
Too many times, unfortunately. You think you're going to be acquainted with a friend and then you're going to be like, yo, that's my homie for life. Homie for life. And then you see dirty tricks beyond the back of motherfuckers.
Greed.
People not wanting to open books. People claiming money that is not theirs. Family. And through the history of time, you've seen this shit happening. What makes you think that this is not going to happen to you? That you immune to all of this? That you're Casper the Friendly Ghost to this? See right through you. When money and big money comes in, that's why you got to do business with people that have the same goal as you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard. Sometimes you won't know until you find yourself in that position. It's crazy. People are still surprised when we say that we're not friends. That's for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to clout chase, or we're not trying to be like, this and that and that. Even my girl was like, yo, but you didn't develop a friendship. No, we developed money.
We definitely developed camaraderie. We definitely developed mutual respect for who the other person is. I think the thing comes into play where at the end of the day, the business always comes first, without a doubt. It's not even a doubt. And for me, if I have to approach our relationship so differently than all my other friendships, I can't use the same word for it. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, I got to talk to you on some business shit, and it has to be straight to the point with zero feelings and consideration involved. It has to be about the business. And so I'm happy about it because I think we've seen this thing flourish, and we've seen it done pretty smoothly. There was a rocky period, but it was more so about like our personalities gelling in a work sense more than anything. On a personal level, me and you being friends outside of this would be so easy because values align in the right places, right?
True. Exactly.
But on a work level, it's a different thing. And when that takes precedent, everything else is on the back burner. I would never think of running a business with my wife or something like that. I'll be honest with you. That would be so hard for me because then you would take all your problems home and your business issues into the bedroom, into everything. That disagreement, like me and you have disagreements, and sometimes we need to just breathe on it. But bitch, you live together.
Yeah.
Do you think what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't fucking go out and be like, I want to go back home and talk shit to my wife. Yo, you know what this motherfucker said?
Yeah.
This motherfucker said to me, but now the motherfucker is my wife.
Exactly. If it's the same thing with me.
You go back.
It's the same. If I was in a relation with my pillow and we had a business together, who am I going to talk to other than my pillow? You know what I'm saying? Like you got your wife, I got my pillow.
Yeah. Lonely. He is so lonely. He's not lonely. The girls don't slide in the DM. We're not gonna read you.
Yeah. It's so sad when you see such a great dynamic between people and you think, how did it go so sour? They were so awesome together. But y'all don't see what happens behind the curtains. And you don't see how hard it is for people to stop thinking logically because they're like, this person is my friend. It's like, nigga, it's business. Go to a Fortune 500 company. They don't talk like you do. They say, give me the financials or my lawyer comes for you. Why? Because they understand it's a weird world when it comes to money. So be very careful when you involve your friends. Contracts are necessary. Do not skimp out and honor them. And also get that hierarchy. Get that hierarchy. Know who you're getting in business with and understand what you value in there. Because Rory, when you listen to their explanation of what happened on the Joe Budden podcast and how things went behind, you could tell he valued the friendship a lot more than he did the business relationship. And doing that ruined both. I would argue if he was more stern about business, he might have been able to preserve both. But now look at it, right? So that's just something to think. You've seen stories of this happening, right? Go ahead, tell them.
It's in my family.
Okay.
I've seen it in my family, so I'm gonna spare the details. But sometimes when money gets in the way of things, and it can get in the way of family sometimes. Family. I'm not talking about friends. Family.
I just don't want to see any more people fall out. I don't want to see groups fall out. I don't want to see duels. If you're not business savvy, go get some information from someone who is. Get counsel. People you can talk to be like, is this normal? Is this not? And then talk to the person you're in business with and have candid conversations. Do not sit on disagreements, okay? Because it's not that very different than a real relationship. Talk to each other if you guys got problems. Don't let that shit fester. Don't let passive aggressiveness fester. Do not let unresolved issues stick around because eventually you blow up on something far larger than what it needs to be. Have constant conversation. Check in with each other. Hey, is everything good? Can I see some of the financials? Yeah, give it. Transparency is going to be so good. And as far as Joe Budden goes, super disappointing. As somebody who talks about not wanting to be, fuck the industry, I'm going to do it myself, till you pull an industry move and say, I got my contracts on you, you never start another podcast, super trash. Super trash.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
That's super garbage. All right? You getting on this public platform and being messy in front of everyone, super trash. Whether it's your friends or your businesses, it's so unprofessional and such an indication of poor leadership. I can't tell you how distasteful it is. I don't care what happens between me and Preach. You will never see me get online here and start to denigrate the man regardless. That shit stays between us. And if we got to have a huge falling out, it's going to be silent and y'all not going to know. It's not going to be fun, but that's how I want to keep it. All right? I'm not going to be messy.
That's not going to be your business.
It's not.
It's not going to be none of your business. If we need to fight, we're fighting, but I'm not going to put the whole business out there. What happened? Well, what was good, and it's not happening no more. It's what's crazy is like people they work with, some people they work with, they consider him too much of a friend. And fans are now, because they're so close and sometimes they have a relationship with fans are become friends as well.
Yeah.
And now they're dashing out the whole thing to fans. Fans don't need to know half the shit you're putting out there. Half the shit. But you're putting it out there. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
I don't like it either. And as far as his apology goes, I'm sorry that I hurt someone close to me. That's an apology. It's like saying I made amends. I'm not going to hurt you anymore. You didn't make amends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I guess that's the only thing. It's like this. If I bring a grievance to you, you don't address the grievance. And you're like, no, I'm sorry I hurt somebody I loved. That's not an apology.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
I'm sorry I hurt someone I love, and the person that you love would be the person you're talking to, the person that you hurt. So that's it is an apology. I'm sorry I hurt you is an apology. It's you being sorry you got hurt. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry about somebody for what I did is one thing. And the other thing is I'm sorry for how you feel is another thing. Which not gonna if you're going into that, I understand the difference and I understand how someone can feel like, you're not really, it's not really one of them is as less accountability. You understand what I'm saying?
It's not even about less accountability. There's no accountability. An apology means nothing if you're not acknowledging what you did wrong. Do you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what does an apology mean in this circumstance if you didn't acknowledge what you did to me? Or if you haven't even acknowledged that you have a problem?
So basically the reason why he fired them was for what? He just decided to fire them?
He fired them because he felt like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you, he's not very clear as to why he fired them. What is very clear is that they weren't transparent. They were asking questions and he wouldn't answer, and he got sick of their questions. Yeah. If you don't address that, none of this other stuff about apologies means anything. It wouldn't mean anything to me, and it won't mean anything to them. Let's also be clear, he hasn't apologized to both of them, only one of them. So it's not like he's addressed the grievances. He's like, that's my real nigga, so I'm apologizing to him because I fuck with him. You're not addressing what's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. People came to me with this story. I'd be like, it'd be interesting to see your point of view since you have a show with ABBA. And I was like, this is not the same thing. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
For thinking it's not the same thing? It's like they were side pieces. You know what I mean? They were, you see in the title of the show, ABBA and Preach, and how ABBA is written the same height and the same font as Preach. ABBA and Preach, it's the same thing. This was like, it really felt like it really had vibes of this show was around Joe.
I mean, he felt like he was the main draw. To be fair, he really is. And he was on the IP. The IP belongs to him. So I'm not mad at him for the name. The thing is, if they're your partners, they may not be equal partners. But if they are partners, they have certain rights that you have to respect considering the investment that they've put in. It's like me and you may not put in the same amount of work into this, but because your contribution is so large, you have a right to see all the financials. You have a right to have access to the whole page. You have a right to have access to all the stuff behind the scenes because of the fact that you are heavily invested. It's like if you're working on a board of a company, you get access to a lot. You get access to most of it. Maybe
if you're a shareholder, maybe you don't have all the shares, but you see the finances and how things are affected in your. You're not the biggest shareholder. You're probably not the majority shareholder, but you're a shareholder. You're gonna be part of the reunions and stuff like that. So
business partners and employees are completely different things. So there's you who established the business, the IP, the podcast, and then there are your partners, these two partners who you wanted to partner up with, right below you, and they have almost as much as right as you do regarding everything that goes around that business, your podcast, right? It's yours and your partners. It's not just yours. They don't work for you, they work with you. It's the only advantage you have. Go ahead, take a little more cut for yourself because you are the owner, you are the IP owner. Take it. But apart from that, what else? It's pretty much the same. They invest the same, not the same, maybe not, of course, but they have invested quite a lot of time with you, with the podcast, right? Now, coming to a podcast and talking about shit, right? Let it be something they like, something they don't like, relevant, irrelevant bullshit, whatever it is, right? They're still contributing time, and time is money. If you've heard of it, since you fight them for money, right? Now, what doesn't make sense is if you call them friends, why would you go live on podcasts and be like, yo, you're fired, y'all fired, get out of here and shit? Like, bro, kidding me? I mean, fuck, that's just immature in the end, bro. I think it's just fucking immature.
And every now and there's a bulletin that is provided to the shareholders, and they're shareholders.
Yep, and they have a right to know. That's like the really important thing is they have a right to know.
It's absolutely absurd. But this is what it is. Again, if you're planning to start something off with your friends, make sure that they're your real friends first, right? And then come down to solely business part of it. Solely business, right? Come to that aspect of it. It is very hard for you to throw out emotions and all the other things when you come together to, discuss shit and talk shit about the business. It is hard. It Things like that will be a small factor of a problem, but that wouldn't be anything if your friendship means a lot, right? If you have close friends, very close friends who've been with you for years, years and years, and they've been more like a fucking brother to you than a friend of yours, right? So it means more than that, man. It means more than that. Obviously, you can start up a business, but it just has to be purely transparent. And basically, these guys are my brothers who I'm talking about, right? So I mean, transparency, bro. Like, fuck. Obviously, the fuck is that even something we have to talk about? Like, it has to be there. It will be there, of course. I don't know, man. There are some weird motherfucking people out there. Well, these are basically my thoughts about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Um, and probably suggest me a few videos if you guys want me to react. I'll do it for you guys. It depends on what kind of video it is too. If it's something interesting or not, I'll check it out. I'll check them out. But let me know if you got some ideas or